Operational problems are a common occurrence for brand new attractions, but one theme park ride at Epic Universe, Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry, has been particularly troublesome for Universal. And for fans looking to embark on this adventure during the preview period, well, you might just be out of luck. Let's talk about Universal Studios closing Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry for a significant portion during the preview period for this soon-to-be open theme park in Epic Universe, here on That Park Plays. There's some controversial ones in here, especially when it comes to the opening of Epic Universe, actually. There have been developments and updates to this story that might have a lot of people upset with how Universal has gone about this preview period. Now, previously on That Park Place, we actually covered this story right here, where preview tickets for the annual pass holder limited or exclusive time period, at least that's what it was at the time. Well, now that was going to be expanding to everybody, all general admission. And well, people were like, so the park's basically open, right? Especially if you're going to be charging dang near full price in order to get into Epic Universe. Well, now we have one little wrinkle on that activity right there. Here you go. Facing reliability issues, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry to close for a week during Epic Universe previews. This May 7, 2025 at Blog Mickey. It's no secret that Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry attraction has been facing issues ever since opening April 13th. The ride has been unreliable over the past few weeks, leading to Universal needing to implement a virtual queue to manage demand and access to the attraction. Now, Universal has announced that its plans on closing the ride for a week during the upcoming preview period. And here's the latest. Now, Ron, let me go ahead and ask you, were you able to ride this attraction? And if not, why?
So I was not able to ride the attraction. So this is where I was for the latest virtual queue drop of the day, which I believe is 6 o'clock. I was literally in line to meet Toothless and Hiccup, and I actually had somebody go in front of me so that I could be there at that drop time and try to get it, and it didn't work. Then I went ahead and met Toothless and Hiccup, and it was fun. That was great. It was not a priority for me. I have to admit that. So I wanted to see the land of Harry Potter, but riding that particular ride wasn't a priority because I thought I'd get to go back and maybe have a second chance at doing that. And when they actually dropped the previews available for the public, I'm like, oh, maybe I can take my whole family. And I was going to go either on the 12th, which is Monday of next week, or Thursday of next week. And we have canceled our plans for that because of the ministry not being opened. I'm like, I am not going to spend that kind of money for my entire family to be there and have a huge attraction that we definitely want to go see not be available. And it is going to be open eventually, so we will wait until the fall. But for now, we're just backing off. And there's going to be something new at SeaWorld I want to see. So, there.
That's a very good point. And I know
that's a really long way to say you're just a muggle, Ron.
Very good point, but I am just a muggle. That is true.
Now, Jonas, we had been covering this facet of the situation right here with this virtual queue system. Now, Universal has activated what's called a virtual queue, a virtual line in their parlance right there. And we've noticed that unlike Disney's virtual queue system that's already a bear to deal with, this features 3 drops, and with those multiple drops, people have been able to access this attraction multiple times. So that's not good. And then we just covered a story actually where somebody was able to get a virtual queue from home in their pajamas, and that's not good either. So the lack of geo-tracking, the lack of storage, of knowing exactly like who has gone on the ride and who hasn't gone on the ride, who has gotten a virtual queue, who hasn't gotten a virtual queue. This has all led to deep frustration, and now we even have more in which this attraction is not going to be open. Jonas, your initial thoughts pertaining to all of this, and is this something that you do in this particular instance, or is this a slight against people who have actually bought into the preview period?
I don't know. This is one of those unfortunate things that when someone buys into a preview, it's supposed to be understood that there's testing going on. And when you're testing out the entire ride, the entire park, rather, that certain things might not be functioning up to spec. I think you sign a waiver. But that being said, this Harry Potter ride is probably near the top of the list for every single person going into that park, with maybe the monsters unleash. Well, no, it's so hard to say because they got so many things that if they're functioning properly, you're gonna want to see when you go there. So I get the backlash, I understand the backlash, but also, it's kind of par for the course. The opportunity that I see here for a guy like me, I'm actually, the rides are great. Rides are great. And I've not been on the rides, but I'm saying rides are a good thing. I actually like the parks more than I like the rides in most instances. So there's an opportunity here because they're saying that they'll allow people into the queue to just look around and see what's going on in there and get a chance to observe the details. So there's part of me that actually would love to go in during the previews and get a good chance to look at the queue. You might call that cope, but more like it's me being an opportunist here, because there's nothing like being able to appreciate all the details without having to deal with all the sweaty tourists and people who may not speak the same language as you try to enjoy the amazing amount of work that they've put into creating. It was actually disappointing to me when I found out that the ministry was the queue, as opposed to you can just walk into the ministry and walk around.
Yeah. Now I will say that's I mean, it's a consolation prize for sure, but when you come in with the expectation that you're going to be able to ride everything, now I understand that's maybe an unreasonable expectation, especially as it's listed on your ticket and so forth. It's a preview period, not all attractions might be available, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. I think where Universal messed up in this case is that they charged as much as they did for this preview window. If this was something where it was like half priced, or maybe if they didn't charge at all, people might be looking at this very differently. But because they did charge the amount that they did, and with the added issues of like this is going to be an AP exclusive period and now it's not, you've just doubled down, tripled down, or added significantly to the overall frustration. Marvin Montanaro actually offers a little bit more detail on this preview period here. Universal Orlando has confirmed that Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry, the flagship attraction of Epic Universe and its Wizarding World land, will be closed from May 10th through May 16th during the resort's final preview period. While the queue will be open for self-guided tours, as Jonas just beautifully relayed, the ride itself, considered by many to be the crown jewel of Epic Universe itself, will be offline as Universal attempts to fix what's become an increasingly frustrating situation. And that's kind of the thing too. I know they've had some really, really big technical issues related to this ride specifically, because this is a brand new attraction. There is no attraction like this. This is very, very ambitious for Universal. And if we cover Universal's history, we know that when they've gone into new ride systems and they've gone into new attractions altogether, well, they've had problems, as stating back to what the 1990 opening of Universal, Universal Studios Florida, if I'm not mistaken, the original park over there at Universal Orlando Resort. Jaws was down for a considerable amount of time. I don't even think it opened for the first couple of days. They had so many problems. Confrontation, Back to the Future, all those things had significant problems on day one. Because remember, back at that time, they'd just done pull-throughs and so forth for the tram over there at Universal Studios Hollywood. They entered into it, and well, they got.
Let me bring up Disneyland's opening day that was filmed live on television.
That's a fair point.
People's ladies' heels were sinking into the asphalt that wasn't dry yet; it was still wet. So this is history that goes way, way back. And just to clarify what the discount is specifically, the regular price during the summer, I believe, is going to be $179 for an adult. The discounted price right now for previews is $144. So you're getting roughly $35 off. On my preview day as an annual pass holder, I paid $151 with tax.
Okay.
But I will tell you, I feel like I got that value out of the day. The day I went was the first day of pass holder previews. Virtually everything was working. Ministry of Magic was working, but with the virtual queue. And again, like I said, that was not top priority for me. So I got to do everything in Nintendo World. I got to do all the Monsters ride, most of the Isle of Berk, the Stardust Racers. I even got to see part of I went into Helios Hotel, had a full day, enjoyed some food. Maybe I was one of the fortunate ones, or the timing was right for when I went, but my preview was amazing. This park, for all of its technical issues, it is so technologically forward that it's not surprising that there are glitches to be worked out. But
Right.
when it is operating full capacity, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing, especially with what they're going to do at night. And they're going to be opening a little bit later, too.
Yeah, we just got word that they are extending the hours from what was previously posted as 9 p.m. now to 10 p.m., which is very, very good. It's heading in the right direction right there, which is awesome, which is great. Or maybe it was 10 to 11. Anyway, they extended them 1 hour, and that's good. It's heading in the right direction in that regard. And some of these could be cast related, right? These issues relating to these rides and related to staffing the park properly for those extended hour periods. All that has to come into effect when you are talking about a preview period. Obviously, as we get closer to opening and as this thing officially opens, that will be less of a, let's say, an excuse for many people, and they'll be reacting thusly right here. You can see the virtual line intended to keep the area from being overcrowded, what has instead created a perception of scarcity and guest dissatisfaction, particularly among early preview attendees who expected to have full access. And with that full access, Dan's Life at the Kingdom says, I have reports yesterday, almost all the rides were closed for the day. People were pretty upset. Huge line of guest services. So, this park is not going to be without its issues, especially right now. We just hope that these issues are mitigated to the best degree that they possibly can be before this whole park is actually officially open. I want to go ahead and also to note this from Universal Parks News Today. It's basically WDWNT, but they also say that in addition, the Viking training camp in How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk will also be closing from Tuesday, May 13th through May 16th to make final preparations for the grand opening. So, just
better now than May 22nd. I'll say that.
I absolutely concur. Just know if you go, you might have some issues upon arrival.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.